What is up, everyone? My name is OJ, and welcome to the village of PlayerEssence, where all you PNs can come to get your latest gaming and Nintendo Switch news. So let's go ahead and get right into this one. So, Fast RMX will take use of the innovative HD Rumble feature on the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons and the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and the game is still coming soon to the Nintendo Switch. As you guys all know, the Nintendo Switch is dropping next week on March 3rd. Worldwide, many different locations are doing midnight launches, unless you're Studio Q, where you won't be having a midnight launch. Feels bad, man. Shin'en Multimedia has confirmed that they will be making use of the HD Rumble feature on the Nintendo Switch for Fast RMX. And I think I might have done a story on this again, but I'll always have an excuse to bring up HD Rumble. I'll always have an excuse to make sure I talk about this feature, because I think this will be one of the most innovative features released in a very long time. Obviously, innovation in the gaming industry is really tough to come by these days. A lot of companies, Nintendo included, sometimes fall into their laurels when it comes to hardware, or when it comes to different things, and necessarily don't implement things that could be a universal standard. Something like Rumble in the first place, or the D-pad. Heck, motion controls were even hit and miss there, but I think HD Rumble is going to be the first real hit since Rumble, or the initial motion control. Not the bad motion controls, guys, but the initial good motion controls for games like Metroid Prime 3 or other games that really used motion well. So I do think this is going to be a functional and very good innovation to the gaming industry that we're going to see other people copy as well. And it's really cool that Shin'en is going to be using this in their next game, Fast RMX, because this game looks amazing. The graphics on there are awesome. 1080p, 60 frames per second, blazing fast speeds. We're going to have online gameplay, and it's just also really cool that they are going to be using that. Now, there's no confirmed release date as far as the exact point. Last time that I thought it was going to be sometime late March. They just want to make sure that it's not out at the very beginning. I think this game, Fast RMX, make sure you position it to where there's not going to be much else released on the same week, and have that continuous content for the Nintendo Switch throughout March, because we do have quite a number of games coming out. Of course, smaller games like Snipper Clip, Super Bomberman R, which is more of a mid-sized game, and then the big daddy is obviously Zelda, but there are some games coming out shortly after that, like The Binding of Isaac, which just got delayed, and there are a few more games as well that are coming out. I think Has Been Heroes is also not a launch title, but coming out shortly afterwards, so you just make sure you just space out some of those one by one, have a good mid-sized indie game for people to pick up as well, and I think people are going to be happy. But Fast RMX is one of those big games. A lot of people are looking forward to it. A lot of people purchased it on the Wii U. Shin'en said that the game sold really well, and they were happy with the sales of it, even though that platform didn't sell very well. So yeah, I think Fast RMX can even do better, and it's going to have the whole generation to sell, instead of selling at the end of the generation, where interest in the Wii U had already pretty much nosedived at that point. Let me know what you guys think about Fast RMX, in addition to it using HD Rumble, in the comment section below. Alright, we're moving on to the next topic here, and we're going to be talking about some hype here. Because guys, look, there's a lot of people out there that are trying to say the Nintendo Switch is going to be like another Wii U, yet they have no evidence to back up that. They have no pre-order sales data to back up that. Everything is saying to the contrary. And one of the countries that really supports Nintendo products out there is France. And Nintendo's France, in a recent interview, said that they expect to sell 800,000 Nintendo Switch units in the first year. The lifetime Wii U sales to date are 800,000. The pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch in France are actually as high as the Wii. Yes, France is getting hyped and geared up. This was in an interview with GameStop with Nintendo of France general manager. So this is really big news, guys, and I'll tell you guys the reason why it's pretty big news here. It shows a big shift from the interest of this console, the Nintendo Switch, compared to the Wii U. And in this interview, the actual general manager of France says, hey, it's very different. We have a different development environment for developers. We have far more games that are going to be suited for more of our audience on there. We have a concept that is very easy to explain. We have better marketing to push that concept, and I think that's really where it comes down to. There's a couple key aspects that he hit on in this interview, and if you want the full thing, it's in French, but you can also Google translate it to whatever language you want. It's just a little hard to read, so I'm not going to be going down it, but it was a massive interview, and he talked about a lot of these things, and definitely I've discussed this stuff too, but Nintendo has a clear focus and vision for this system. A lot of people like to branch it off into one thing or another. Oh, it's portable. Oh, it's a home console. Dude, it's a hybrid. It's a home console hybrid. That's all it is. You can play it at home like a normal home console, and then you can take it on the go and also play it as a handheld. The approach and what they're doing with the system is very reminiscent to the Nintendo 3DS, and I actually made a video about that. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. It'll be on my channel where I talk about the Nintendo Switch going in the 3DS's lead, and it's very reminiscent to that. Build a strong portfolio of first-party games and exclusives. Roll with the big exclusive third-party games that you've been able to secure. Nintendo has a number of third-party games that are going to be exclusive as well, at least starting out in the very beginning, such as Fast RMX and Super Bomberman R. Both of those are exclusive. They're third-party games as well, so roll with those that are going to provide unique experiences and let the sales come in, and then you'll start to see some developers trickle in. And I do think that there's going to be more announced at E3. I think this system, as far as being able to be played anywhere, offers something that other systems just don't offer on the market at this point. So being able to have a system that is as powerful as it is, yet you can play anywhere you want in addition to home, and it's going to be getting the full force of Nintendo games in order to increase sales, that is a very big boost in anywhere you're at. Not just France, but anywhere. That is really cool. And it kind of slides right into what I'm going to talk about next, because GameStop has actually said that they're seeing tremendous demand for the Nintendo Switch, and says that the response has been amazing. So this is a bit of a lengthy piece, so let's go ahead and jump right in from Eric Bright, the Senior Director of Merchandising at GameStop. Quote, "We've seen tremendous demand for the Nintendo Switch, and of the initial allocation of pre-orders we took, the majority of them were done by PowerUp Reward customers. They're definitely looking for this device. We have a ways to go before we satisfy all the demand that's out there. The response has been amazing. They've taken a lot of franchises like Zelda and Mario that were popular in the Wii days, gave them HD graphics, and created a system that can be played on your TV and is portable as well. Those are two big technology changes for games that didn't exist before. The Q1 launch is one of the smartest moves Nintendo could have done. Instead of pushing units out during the heaviest time of the year in Q4, this allows them to build a base, so by holiday we can focus on games. There will be millions of people who will be hungry for content, creating a richer development cycle for the game publishers who have an install base to support the titles. This also will take some of the brunt off the Christmas and enable Switch to be better stocked at stores. Nintendo has learned from their mistakes it made with the Wii U, because there's a wide assortment of third-party games from developers like EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, and Take-Two, as well as first-party Nintendo titles like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Splatoon 2. The variety of indie games for the Switch is one of the brilliant things Nintendo was able to do, Bright said. Any new console launch is all about software and content, providing people a huge variety of games. Indie developers will only expand how many customers adopt Switch and expand the age range. We see this appealing from hardcore gamer down to the overall family gamer. The biggest win for the consumer is they can make their own choice with games. They pick which of the games they want to pair with the hardware they're buying, whether they're Zelda fans or 1-2 Switch. From our sales perspective, we're seeing incredible demand. We're pleased with the Nintendo Switch attach rate. People are not just buying one game, they're buying multiple games. We're looking at which stores you can expect to see all sorts of events throughout the year as we educate the consumer on this launch. We'll also have an incredible launch day activities on March 3rd. Customers are going to easily be thrilled with the fact that there's something they can play with anyone in the house because it has the Wii playability. We're no longer purchasing Wii U units, although customers can come in and pick them up pre-owned. That's mainly because it's no longer being made available to the mass retailer. Nintendo and ourselves are fully engaged in this new hardware lineup. Bright also talked about the interest in the NES Classic bit. He said, we're seeing incredible demand for the unit, there's no slowdown, and they don't see it stopping, and they're going to continue for some time. So let's talk about this a bit, guys, because there's a lot of different information that he said here, from third-party support to Nintendo's strategies and everything like that. Recently, there was an article published by a website out there, a very popular website, that said that Nintendo is copying all the same mistakes that they made with the Wii U, and it had a bunch of text full of nothing. Really, there was a bunch of text just full of just stuff that you could maybe loosely translate to something being a mistake or not. Heck, there was even stuff in there that the Nintendo Switch isn't doing that the Wii U did and still failed, but then they blamed the Nintendo Switch for not doing the same thing that the Wii U did. Not gonna name the article, not gonna give it publicity, but at the same time, it's funny that a retailer is talking about these things and actually naming examples of things that they have information or knowledge on as far as what Nintendo's doing differently with the Nintendo Switch. So I do want to get into this a lot. So the fact that you can take it portably, I think that's the biggest thing that's getting a big response from consumers out there. People love Nintendo portables. These are obviously very, very popular. Nintendo's portables have always been more popular than Nintendo's consoles. Even Nintendo's most popular home console was still beat out by Nintendo's portable in that same generation, the Nintendo DS. Yes, that's one of the greatest selling systems of all time and Nintendo's greatest selling device of all time. So even in that generation, the portable still did better. So that's one thing that people need to understand. There's always been more portable Nintendo consoles out there than home consoles. Now, what Nintendo's done is merge the two. You have a hybrid. Obviously, you're going to have a lot of people from both sides jumping in. But I think most people see it is if you're a Nintendo fan and you see this device, you see I can play all of Nintendo's library at this point. And you're already kind of seeing that with the amount of games that they have planned for 2017, first party wise. But if you look at the Q1 launch at this point, it does look brilliant. Get all the crazy fanatics out there, get them out and get them the system in that first half year, really, because in the later half, they're going to get all those systems. Then you're going to have ample supply for the big one, and that is Super Mario Odyssey. That is big. You need to make sure that you have plenty of stock because that game is going to sell like crazy. In addition to that, people are going to be picking up Zelda, picking up Splatoon, picking up Fire Emblem Warriors, picking up all the games that released beforehand. Remember, systems do sell based on some games that come out. That can push units, but people always think about what else is on the system as well. So the Nintendo Switch is going to have a massive lineup of games by the end of the year, especially great big first-party games. So definitely Nintendo doing that was smart in that regard. Another thing, as far as the third party, he mentions Ubisoft, Bethesda, EA. Nintendo does have some titles from those developers. Bethesda was not on board with the Nintendo Wii U, and Take-Two really wasn't on board. They released one game, then we're like, okay, we're done. Take-Two has came out and said that we have more than one game. All we can announce is just the basketball game at this point. So I do feel that Take-Two is going to have more. EA does have FIFA. Hopefully it's a better FIFA version than they did with the Wii U, which that was pretty much just a really bad version of FIFA. The Xbox 360 and PS3 version even worse than that. So hopefully that FIFA is custom built like they say it is, and it's a good version. And if it is, that can definitely be a big help to Nintendo because it's a portable version of a console FIFA. Nintendo doesn't really do the 3DS FIFA anymore, and if they do, you probably don't want to play that one on the go. I don't know how good that one is. So they're going to have something unique that the other systems can't offer at this point. So that will be big. A lot of people are downplaying it, but FIFA is a huge game, and it's good to have it on your system. NBA 2K is the same way. Sells very good. Now you have a portable version of that on the go, in addition to more games that third-party developers are going to bring out. Ubisoft has a number of games from Rayman Legends, they have Steep, they have Just Dance, and there's more that they have not announced, so we're going to be getting a lot more Ubisoft games out there. A lot of indie developers are putting their games on the system, and that is very, very smart. Obviously, dudes like Shinin make really top-quality indie games, so you want them on there, and that can even help move the system a bit more. Indie games like Minecraft helped revolutionize indie development when it comes to sales and when it comes to the business and everything. So having a lot of different indie games on there is definitely important. I'm really happy that the indie development environment with the Nintendo Switch is so good. A lot of developers are looking to put their games on there. And one more thing that I do want to talk about is a pack-in for the game, because a lot of people were saying and still saying that 1-2 Switch should be a free pack-in in the game, and I 100% disagree. And the reason why I disagree with that, because Nintendo tried that same thing with Nintendo Land. Yes, there was some moderate success with it, but people complain that you're adding on to the price of the system with this game being in there. People didn't see it as a free game, and they would have said the same thing with 1-2 Switch. If that was packed in with the Nintendo Switch, people would be like, well, why are you forcing me to get this game? It looks dumb. I don't want to buy this game. You're making the console more expensive with it. Nintendo would also financially take a hit by just giving away a game that they developed for free. So let people pick what they want. If they want just the base unit, just get the base unit and buy whatever game that you want. You don't need a pack-in game in there. This isn't Wii. This isn't Wii U. That's the thing. People are trying to relate it to those systems. It's not Wii or Wii U. It doesn't need a pack-in. All it needs is good games and big games that people want. And there's Bomberman that's doing well. There's Zelda that's doing well. People are actually wanting 1-2 Switch for a family or party game. So just do it that way. There's no need to pack a game in and take a potential loss or a hit or anything, or get people to think, oh, well, this game is costing me money. I don't want this game. So yeah, I think that it was smart that they did that, because that's kind of what you saw with Nintendo Land a bit. People are saying, oh, well, they're charging $50 for this game, Nintendo Land, and I necessarily don't want it. Maybe I want something else. Maybe I just want New Super Mario Bros. With the Pro Controller or whatever the case is. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. I definitely think he's pretty spot on with this stuff, and I'm really looking forward to this launch, my ninjas. We just got about a week left, man. It's going to be here next week, and it's going to be freaking awesome. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.